I like to convince myself that summer is not my favorite season because everyone else says that, but it is. Hey everyone, I'm Natalie. I'm a lifestyle wellness coach, and you're here in my tiny house, and I want to walk you through some of the health hacks that I've been playing around with this summer. Here we go. Okay, this one's gonna seem a little silly, but truly it's not. Having little cut flowers in your house completely lifts your spirits. It's a mood lifter. Yes, I have little plants in my house as well, but having cut flowers where I have to change them out every couple days just keeps me connected to nature, keeps me connected to what flowers are growing outside. So I'm a big fan of doing wildflowers in my yard, but also you can go to a farmer's market, go to the grocery store, go to your local farmer that maybe has cut flowers for you. So these ones I'm going to keep. I'm going to drain out the water, get some new water. And I don't know what these ones are. They kind of look like phlox, but then I'm adding in yarrow. And just so, gosh darn sweet to have the littlest vase of wildflowers in my house. The second health hack that I've been messing around this summer with is switching out oats for quinoa for breakfast. So I'm a really big fan of cooking a really big pot of quinoa and then leaving it on the stovetop or toss it in the fridge, and just like no chicken broth, no salt, no oil, and I just leave it as is. I just cooked it with water, and then I use this for breakfast, and I use it the same way I would oats. So I've been adding chia seeds. These are soaked chia seeds in almond milk, and I'll add things like honey or nuts, seeds. I'll add fruit, but there's something so good about having it not super hot, and so a lot of times I will add water or milk to this, warm it up, and then add the chia in there to just kind of warm it back up on the stovetop, because I don't have a microwave in here, and we don't need microwaves in our life. And it just adds a lot of lightness, still a ton of plant protein, and it's not as heavy as oats. And so in the summer times, it's just best to eat foods that are light and filling and just make you feel really good, because we have a lot more sunlight and a lot more heat, and so the foods you want to be opposite of that. And so quinoa instead of oats is just so good. Welcome to my loft. I love this space up here. It's the best nest ever. So the next one I wanted to share with you is actually a product, and it's Body Feet toe separators. I don't have a link or anything to these in terms of like an affiliate link, but I'll just link it in the description below. But these things are so great for foot health. And so I personally have an old injury on my right foot where I'm sort of getting a bunion on my right toe because my big toe wants to go over and then my second toe wants to come up. And so my toes are just like, my foot is like cramping, and I have been getting all squished, and I didn't realize until I started doing more research around how constricting so many of our shoes are. I mean, the classic example is high heels, but even just like some sneakers, like I have Vans sneakers, and like it's such a rounded toe versus the wider toe box to let our toes splay. And so these little silicone stretchy toe separators or toe spacers, it's almost like what you get when you go get a pedicure and they like separate your toes out so that your nail polish doesn't, but you know, until it dries. But I have noticed a massive difference in just like my toe achiness. And so sometimes I can just have like sore, achy feet and toes. So there it is from behind. They're just so funny. I honestly feel like I have gills or something, or like webbed feet. And so what I do is I will practice yoga on my mat with these. I will, and dominantly I'm trying to sleep in them, and mostly on my right foot just because that's what I'm having issues with. And so this is great for you if you have shin splints, or if you have plantar fasciitis, or if you have just any sort of like achy toes. and you notice that you wear really constrictive shoes, obviously the best thing is to switch over to shoes that have a wider toe box. And that's something that I'm like, as my shoes are fading out or aging out, I am switching over to shoes that have wider toe boxes. And honestly, I just really love how these make me feel after I take them off, because I can just feel like my toes have been stretched. It almost feels like my toes get to go to yoga class. So I'm going to keep my toe separators on for the next one, but this next one is really interesting because it has to do with shoulder, neck, and even my lower back a little bit. So something I stopped doing in the last maybe month now is I stopped sleeping with a pillow. I have it here, but I often just put it upright and then I leave my head right on the mattress. It was an intuitive thing. I don't know why I started doing it, but I, within a couple of days, noticed my tech neck, because I work on the computer. I noticed that my neck was less stiff, and I usually can crack my neck pretty good, and I can't crack it as well now. There's just nothing to crack. And then I started to notice that my tension in my shoulders started to relieve a little bit. And then the other interesting thing is right here, if you press, it used to be really tender right there, and now it's still tender, but it has definitely decreased. So the only thing I've changed is not using my pillow, and so it just made me think about what babies do. Babies don't use pillows, and when I was a kid, up until the end of high school, I used just I called it a Kleenex tissue. It was just nothing of a pillow. It was almost like a beanbag, and I barely used it. It was just something for me to hold. So I think there's something there. There is also, I started to dig, there is a lot of science behind it, but that's another one that I've been playing around with that has made a massive difference. Okay, let's go back down the stairs. Okay, the next one that I want to show you is a solid shampoo bar. I switched over maybe a year or two ago, and I noticed a big difference in two things. One, that it was just less to carry around. I travel a lot, and having something way smaller is way better. So I have the box, but I left my shampoo bar, and I don't have a house, or I don't have a shower in my tiny house, and so I take a shower in my friend's house, and I leave it over there. But it fits in this. It just honestly looks like your normal solid bar of soap, but it's a shampoo bar specifically. And it's just way smaller to carry around, and you can get way more washes out of it. But the other thing that I really love about it is that my hair, I have fine hair, and my hair gets less greasy, and it takes more days for my hair to get to that point where I'm I need to take another shower. So when I was using kind of conventional shampoo and conditioner, I needed to shower I needed to wash my hair probably every 2 days. Mosquito. But I didn't, and I would just power through thinking that my hair would recalibrate itself, and it never did. But when I started using solid shampoo, I think there's less ingredients in it. There's none of the parabens, silicones, and sulfates, and artificial fragrances, and any of that crap. And I noticed my hair felt fluffier and lighter, and it didn't feel as weighed down, and then I could go longer in between washes. So, solid shampoo for the win. Alright, so the last thing that I want to share with y'all is my face wash. So it's in a mason jar, and it's all powdered. So it's actually 4 foods. This is going to sound nuts, but I love it. This one I've been using, out of all the things that I've shared with you, this is the one I've been doing the longest. I've been doing it 2+ years for sure, maybe even 3. So it is coconut milk that's powdered, or you can use any other type of powdered milk. And then it's ground almond flour or almond meal, and then it's crushed orange peel, in a powdered form, crushed rose petal powder as well. I do a combination of those powders in here, And so what I do is I take out a little bit and maybe, I don't know, maybe like a teaspoon worth, and then I put just a little bit of water in there to like make it into a paste, put a little bit of water on my face, and that is how I wash my face. And sometimes I use it once a day, sometimes twice a day. Because it's powders, it's like this really nice gentle exfoliant, so I get that piece, but then also it doesn't strip my face of oils. It's one of those DIY face washes that I fell in love with because I love how it made my face feel. It seemed to help out my acne, and again, it just felt good to like have that really gentle exfoliant that didn't strip the oil from my face. All right, y'all, those are the health hacks that I wanted to share with you of what I've been into in the summer. And just a reminder that like your health is, I know it can sound a little weird, but like your health is an experiment, and try different things. See what makes you feel good. See what's able to kind of relieve some of the symptoms that you might be having in your physical body, and feel free to play around with any of the ones that I shared. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.